A bam. A pow. Okay, here we go. Pow. Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Boo, and I'm here for the Daily Brew. Yeah, that's basically what's going on here. Hi folks, how we doing? Hope you're all doing extraordinarily well. Exceptionally increíble. You get some more people. It's a Marvel Avengers. It's a Bad Smile, Sorriso Cattivo, Luca Cecchini. Sorry, I totally fucked up your name, I'm sure. I'm positive that I absolutely whomped it, and that's totally okay. Hi, folks. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Let me pull up a polly and let me put this down. I've got a question for you that actually comes from... I'm conversing with somebody right now who I just asked this question, and I'd like to ask it to all of you. If money were no object, what would you be doing with your life? Poll. Pow. Invito peoplo. Copio linko, pop the thing, today's poll, bigger dreams, pow, and then we'll drop that up as the pinned message. Hello, Willie, hello, Fish, hello, all of you people. I am in the gym right now, later in the random workout. Fuck yeah, dude, get it, kill your workout, fuck it up. What'd you work today? If you don't say everything, then you're a loser, then you're a failure. So there's our poll. If money were no object, what would you be doing? The reason I bring this up is because I'm currently... Bigger cock, says Chad Cockman, and he's goddamn right. He's goddamn right. Bigger cock. Yeah. fucking hell. No, I'm currently conversing with a prostitute, and I don't mean that as a derogatory term for someone who sells themselves on OnlyFans. I mean literally a prostitute who is trying quite desperately to sell me her body, and I'm continuously refusing because it's against my principles. And well, we just talked about it, and I talked it through. I talked through why I refuse to do this. You're worth more than money. You deserve to be treated right, and that isn't the same as being paid or spoiled. And the guys who will pay just want to take from you and use the money as a stand-in for care and attention. And she hit me back with a real insightful thing, which was, but I have bills to settle. I take care of my bills, and I take care of my parents' bills. I make use of what I have to get what I lack. And so I asked her, what's the end game when you get done with this? What happens if you get out from under these bills? What do you plan to do? Where's the goal, right? Because if, you know, it's one thing if this is driven towards something legitimate, and it's another thing if this is just holding chaos at bay, right? Like, just keeping a Band-Aid on it so that you don't look at the wound that's the gaping wound of your life, right? And her answer is, I want to set myself up someday and become a better person. And that's like, yeah, good, okay, but that's not a specific, measurable, attainable, realistic or time-dependent goal. It doesn't hit the SMART categories. What are SMART goals? I forget. SMART measure, or what are they? Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. It doesn't fit those. It's not really, it's like, set myself up someday, not time-bound, and become a better person, which is not measurable, nor specific. It's utterly vague, utterly unachievable, all of these things. And, like, fair, so be it. It's a rough life out there, man. It's rough. And I'm talking to this girl, and this is a beautiful young woman who's trying to sell her body to me, literally. And I refuse. I'm not interested. I don't want that. My angle is actually, I'm going to try to take this prostitute out on a date and treat her like a human being and see what the fuck happens. Because that seems really interesting to me. I'd like to talk to this person. She's got a totally different perspective on the world than I do, and that's fascinating. But anyway, that's sort of neither here nor there. I wanted to ask the question because I'm interested. We get Relaxing by Couleres. Okay, fair enough. But here's my problem with Relaxing, Couleres, is that during the periods of time where I haven't had work to do, where I've been able to just sit around and relax, it takes me about 3 days before I start to eat myself, before I start to, like, literally chew through my fingernails and like, fall apart. Relaxing doesn't fucking do it for me, man. It really doesn't do it for me. I get it, it's necessary, and when you're in the work grind, all you want is a moment of relief, a moment of, like, oh, thank God I can chill, fuck. But it just doesn't do it for me, man. I don't know. All right, so I've now asked her if she watches anime, because that's my answer, really. Because my response was, she said, I want to set myself up someday and become a better person, and I'm like, I'm into that, that's great, but I think you can dream bigger. And her response was so telling: dream bigger with whose help? Dream bigger with whose help? And my answer is yours. Believe in the you that believes in you. But Simon doesn't get there immediately in Gurren Lagann. Simon doesn't get there immediately. It takes a while. First, he can't believe in the him that believes in him, because he doesn't believe in himself. So he has to believe in the me that believes in you. He has to believe in the Kamina that believes in him. And then he has to come, after a long struggle, he has to come to the identity that he can believe in himself, and that's the person that he believes in. And it's sort of like saying, I believe in my future self. I said this to a girl at the gym yesterday. I think she was there either with her brother. I couldn't tell whether they were brother and sister or if she was dating him, but they knew each other anyway. And he's this guy that I've seen at the gym a few times, and we've interacted a couple times. He lifts super heavy. Lifts like super heavy, really strong guy, knows his shit, has good form, is doing great. And his girlfriend or sister, I really don't know. Couldn't even tell by the way that they interacted. I just don't know, and I don't care. His girlfriend or sister, total noob at the gym, didn't know what she was doing, and he had her doing like barbell rows or something, and it was immediately obvious to me that she didn't know how to hip hinge. Like the basic movement of hinging at the hips. Immediately obvious. So I stepped in and I taught her how to do it. I just fucking taught her how to do it. And eventually, as she was like, as they were leaving together, she said something about like, thanks so much for believing in me. You really helped me. Maybe they were both. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? You really helped me. And I was like, no, fuck that. Oh no. What she said was somebody said he said to her, one day you'll be as strong as that guy, and pointed at me as I'm about to pull. I was about to deadlift like 340 pounds or something, which is a solid deadlift when you weigh 130 pounds, which is what I weigh right now. I'm fucking tiny right now. I was about to pull a heavy weight, and he was like, one day you could be as strong as that. I was like, fuck that. Don't compare yourself to me. First off, we're different genders, dude. Like, and I've got years of experience doing this. We're always going to be different. You're running your own goddamn race. Compare yourself to your future self. Compare yourself to the future self that you could be. Imagine who you could be in 5 years if you did everything right. You know? If you read books, if you went to the gym, if you ate perfectly, if you acted properly in relation to your relationships and your family members and your various dynamics, if you worked hard at whatever it is that you're putting yourself into, where could you be in 5 years? And then compare that to where you could be in 5 years if you fucked everything up, if you ignored your family, if you didn't work effectively and got fired or something, if you didn't take care of your health, if you ate garbage, if you didn't lift, if you didn't do all these things. Those are the yous that could be. Believe in the you that could be. Both sides of it, and believe that the you that could die and destroy yourself exists too, because that you does exist, and you believing that person could exist is gonna terrify you down to your fucking bones. And that's what we want, man. I want you to be scared of failing, and I want you to be goddamn driven towards success. Okay, so there's my rant fueled by. This is what happens when you engage and talk to people who are muddled in their metaphors, who don't have their myths together. And I just want to whelm them with with like correctness, with the simplicity of focus and effort and willpower and strength and the biological and behaviorological backings of those things that make them possible long-term for your life, for your own benefit, for your own gain, forever. Fuck! You can also tell that I'm in this morning. I feel great, by the way. I feel lovely, and I feel awake, and I feel alive. I was up immediately this morning. This is day 3 of kiwi fruit and tart cherry juice, and fuck, my sleep has never been better in my entire life. You need to be trying some of this stuff. I don't know. I read some science, and the science said maybe eating a whole kiwi fruit with the skin and drinking some tart cherry juice will make you sleep better. So I went and I bought some kiwis and I bought some tart cherry juice, and I had a shot of tart cherry juice last night, and I ate a kiwi, and I slept like a goddamn baby. Fuck. But I'll also say I'm on day 3 of being off of SSRIs completely. I weaned down and then I cut off. And so, and my, how do I put it? I'm active. I'm a little jittery almost, and I haven't had caffeine. I'm a little bit edgy. A little edgy. Little chunibyo. A little bit on edge, and a little bit frustrated, and a little bit it's not anxious. That's what's interesting. Anxiety is like a tamped down sort of emotion. I'm awake, and I'm parsing, and I'm ready, and I want to go. I got my go button is going. Well, go button sounds like a G spot. But I'm on, and I wanna pursue things, and that's really interesting because that's exactly what's going on. Serotonin is, hi Solar Wind, what's up? A little pent up? Maybe, I don't know. I don't feel pent up or like restrained really. It's that serotonin is what you get that makes you feel content with the way things are. And let me be honest, my things are pretty great. I'm at the best place in my life. I'm at the best place in my life on many, many fields. In terms of my interactions with other people, in terms of the security and stability at which I live. You know, today is the day that payouts are coming through in Patreon, so I'm watching the people drop away because of the decisions that I've made, and I'm watching them leave, and it's totally fine with me. And it really doesn't hurt, you know? It's so funny. Over the course of November, if I look at the Patreon numbers, I'm down like 100 patrons, and I'm down like $700 monthly dollars. Great, yippee-ki-yay. Didn't need the money anyway. Like, fully didn't need the money. I was just going to waste it. So good. And then I'm up like $800 and like 40 patrons in annual pledges. People who are committed long term. Fucking weird. Interesting. But anyway, the point is that I'm at the best place in my life so far, and I am not content. I am not content. I want to be a fucking billionaire. I want to change this fucking planet. And it's really interesting to me because the SSRI, the serotonin reuptake inhibitor, the more of the neurochemical that makes you feel content with the way things are, which is reasonable when you're depressed, because you're probably depressed despite being okay. But I'm not depressed anymore. And I'm okay, but I'm not okay enough. I'm not there yet. And so it's like the veil has been lifted from me and my dreams can be seen again. And it's like I'm aware poignantly of what I'm not doing to get to them. So that's pretty interesting. And I'll say again, this is in no way a recommendation that people shouldn't be on SSRIs if they need them. I needed them. I might still need them, and we'll see as we continue this experiment into the next few days whether I get a little loopy, because I might, but I don't think so. I think I got it. And it's great, because I'll have a big bottle of the SSRI sitting there, so because I've got 3 months supply just waiting, right? And so if I end up in a rough spot, and I start to go like, whoa, nope, back on the sauce, absolutely, I have it right there. I don't even have to wait for a doctor to prescribe it. I'm set. So I'll say this, if you're in deep depression, the SSRIs can help some people. They helped me a lot. But once you're out of it, you need to get off the sauce so that you can move forward. Because I thought I was going to be on the thing for my whole life, and that's not the way to be. I think I need to be off of it as soon as possible and be moving toward goals hard and fast and serious. Okay, let's check what we got on here. Bigger cock, of course. Traveling the world. I love that. I really do love that. It's such a, it's kind of a cliche, that's like, oh, if I had money, I would travel. But I don't think it's a cliche. So here's something. Here's something interesting about time, about the way that we perceive time. You ever have a period of your life where you kind of do the same thing every day for a while? You know, you maybe a period where you were unemployed more than a period where you were employed, because being employed, just going to work, does something. It's like it's different all the time a little bit. But a period where you sort of wake up, roll out of bed, lay down, or sit down and get something done. Do this, do that, eat the same breakfast, sit around, play the same video games, or different video games, whatever. You do kind of the same thing every day. When you look back at that time, does it feel like much time has passed? Because for me, when I've been in that position where I've been doing the same thing sort of every day, where I've been like avoidant in my behavior, or avoiding work, avoiding schoolwork in particular, and often using video games or media in order to jump into that schoolwork, I look back at that time, and it's like there's a whole year of time that's just gone. It's just condensed. It's like the time didn't even exist. And then I look back at times when I did novel things and new experiences continuously. And that time is rich and lush and full. And that's actually neurobiologically, neurochemically true, is that we only perceive time in terms of change, in terms of difference of experience, difference of sensation. And so if you go through a cycle of the same sensation over and over, the time is actually collapsing. It's actually, it's not dilating, it's contracting. You're actually contracting time by doing the same thing over and over. If you go out and you seek new experiences constantly, if you're going out into the world, if you're walking around, if you're touching grass, if you're going new places, and the reason that I bring this up is because of traveling, if you're going new places and experiencing totally new things, new cultures, new languages, new people, new looks of people, because people look different in different places. Now it's more blended as we move into a more multicultural society, but people look different, and new culture and new architecture and new, you go to Greece and the ocean looks different than it does here. Hell, you go to the east coast of America versus the west coast of America, and the oceans are completely different. One of them's ice cold, and the other one's kind of warm, weirdly, depending on where on the east coast you are. If you're down in Florida, you're getting warm waters. Super strange. I remember that when I was quite young. I visited my grandmother in Florida, and we went swimming, and it was like, what the fuck? The water is warm. What is that bullshit? That's bullshit. That's weird, right? Because I live by the Pacific. I live in California, and so my experience with the ocean is freezing fucking cold because it's cold there. But it's like novel experience, and having more of those novel experiences, I think, literally makes your life full. It makes time dilate. It makes you feel like you've lived longer because you've lived more. So I'm really into the travel the world answer. I think that's a really good one, King Aaron. Doing whatever creative project that catches my attention. So in this circumstance, and similarly with me, Marino, we're talking about more focus on creative endeavors. I like that. I do. There's something about it that speaks to me of not knowing what creative field is what you actually want to pursue. Because for me, it's like, if money were no issue, what would you be doing with your life? And the answer is sitting here in front of a camera talking about anime. Fuck. Shit. Fuck. No, I've got mate on my shirt. Fuck. Gross. Awful. Doing whatever creative project catches my attention, very well, and that freedom is worthwhile to pursue, and I'm not trying to knock it. All I'm trying to say is that maybe you should seek out what creative projects catch your attention and hone it down a little bit and narrow your focus a little bit. Because there are infinite things that you could do with your life, and only some of them are worthwhile, and only some of them are not only worthwhile, but really well attuned to who you are, and only some of those are worthwhile and attuned to who you are and enjoyable. And so if you could narrow the field, you'd have more of a direction, and you'd be able to focus, and you would waste less time. It's weird. It's like a weird balance, because I just said that you should do all sorts of various things, and I think you should, but then I think you should also find and focus on the thing that you most want. Yeah. 100 Hitman says, probably be in another country. Reasonable. What country are you in now? I'm just curious. What country are you in now? Ngak. Still making games but with more focus on improving instead of on performing. I like this, but I don't know what you mean. Ngak. 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 What do you actually mean? On improving what? On improving yourself? Or on improving the games? Are you improving your ability to do so? Something like that, I would assume. Making quality anime that pays animators well? Reasonable. Although I think let the Japanese keep going with that. Let them have it. Let them have it and just go support Trigger on Patreon. What do you like? You want to make quality anime that pays animators well? Go support Kyoto Animation and go support Trigger on Patreon. Oh, and if you'd like to support people who talk about anime and make sure that they're paid well, you can support me on the Patreon or in the PayPal down below in the description. That's my show for the day. Spending time with family and friends, it's crucial. It grounds you, right? It does. It absolutely grounds you. Write and draw my own story / manga. Why aren't you starting now, Timo? Why aren't you starting now? And if the answer is because I got bills to pay and not enough time, that's not a good enough answer. I know that it's a good enough answer, but it's not a good enough answer. Doing things that interest me. Again, this is like as broad as it gets. It's like clearly you don't know what things interest you. Otherwise, you would put those specifically, right? And why is it that doing things that interest you is something that is mutually exclusive with making enough money to survive? Why is that the case? Because it's not the case. It's a lie. If you think that's the case, it's a lie. There is a way for you to do the things that interest you, as long as you can hone down and figure out what they are. There is a way for you to do them and survive and do well. I don't know what it is. You're going to have to find it. You're going to have to manufacture it. And here's the thing. Nobody's going to open that opportunity for you and go, here's the place where you fit perfectly. This is the job for you. Nobody's going to do that. You have to manufacture it, man. You have to develop it. So if you can find a way to blend, do the things that interest you with do the things that you need to do to survive, then you're golden. Then you're set. Then you don't have any friction. That's what's up, man. Finish college, says TaxMax. Very, very well. Valid. Finish college in what direction, with what degree, for what purpose? Because just finishing college is one thing, and a lot of people aim for that as a goal. I used to aim for that as a goal when I was in college. I was aiming for just get out of here with a degree, with a piece of paper, so that I can work in the workforce or whatever. And that wasn't it. I fucked it up, actually. I was given an inordinate privilege of experience to go to an incredible university. And I kind of squandered it. Because I was focused on getting it done instead of getting what I could out of it. All right, so we got some more things. We got some people in the chat. Great. As you repeat the same thing over and over, your brain probably doesn't bother recording it. It's that it does record it, and then it just cues into the same recording and reinforces instead of making new recordings. So I think you know exactly what I mean. About this poll, says Batuhan Derman, and let's be clear, Batuhan, you're in Turkey, right? So cost of living is a little bit different for you than a lot of the other people in this audience, but still. About this poll, people might find it weird, but I was never interested in money. Even as a kid, I always thought, and still do, as long as I had a minimum wage job, a small apartment with a few people to share the rent with, and internet, I would be happy. And currently, I am living this life and enjoying it. So that's really rad as a basis. Now, here's my proposition to you. Money isn't evil. Money is valuable. And there are things about the world around you that need to be changed, and you could be more capable of changing them if you had more money. So, if you take as rote that you could always fall back on, there's no sweat, there's no worry that you would be able to get a minimum wage job and a cheap apartment, right? There's no worry in a million years unless you get actively and physically hurt and can't work or whatnot, right, Batuhan? You will be able to get a job and to survive at the level that you need, right? Okay, so here's my proposition to you. If that basis is so set, why aren't you experimenting in every possible way? Why aren't you risking it all? Because you could risk it all, right? You've got a safety net. You and not a safe safety net, but you've got the thing that you could always fall back on, right? You could always go back and get a part-time job or work at a grocery store or work at a restaurant or whatever it is that's so simple that you can do, or work as a gent or like whatever it is. You'd be able to do that and pay for your home and you'd survive, right? So go risk everything. Go risk everything on the long shot. on the incredible long shot, right? Whatever it is that's your deep, heartfelt desire that you don't share with the rest of the world, man, oh man, oh man, go pursue it. Go risk everything, man. What else are you going to do with your life? You're just going to sit and have the minimum wage job in the tiny apartment the whole time? If that's good enough, then that's good enough. If that's all you need, then that's all you need. So go get money so that you can provide for other people. Go get money so you can make changes. Go get power. You know, if you're set, go start helping others. If you've already got your gas mask on in the crashing plane that is our world, because the world is a giant crashing plane, it feels like. If you've got your gas mask on and your oxygen is flowing and you're set, go put on somebody else's gas mask. Go save some kids. You know, I'm really serious about this. Go do something more. Go contribute. Okay, that's it. I don't mean to get offensive towards you. I don't mean to go on the offense. Marvel Avenger says, I'm in India right now. Sick. Oh, that's in response because you must be 100 Hitman, which is probably be in another country. That's actually interesting. How is India, Marvel Avengers? How do you feel about how India is? Because, you know, population-wise and wealth-wise, India is booming. India is exploding. But it's also an interesting society that's kind of torn between modernity and tradition in a lot of ways. So I'm really fascinated by India. Yeah. If I had unending money tree, I would create a company. Let's call it the Umbrella Corporation, maybe. And I'd like to investigate viruses that can alter life. Yes, yes, yes. What could possibly go wrong, Resident Evil? Okay, so Ngak is talking about improving my ability to make games. So honing your skills themselves instead of performing at the job, right? Like, so I understand what you mean because the same goes for me in programming. So focused on just doing the thing to get the work done that all of my side projects and hobby projects and like self-development stuff sort of fell by the wayside. I think you have to find some kind of balance in there. You know, in a weird way. So this is a weird analogy to that, but it's like me with this channel. Sometimes I get so focused on just doing the thing the way that it is, which is get the videos out, get them recorded, try to do the thing as well as I can, that I forget about innovating. And I had a long stretch of not innovating effectively for like a year plus. And then, of course, the LSD shook me out of that, and I started innovating again. And that's what's caused the chaos over the last couple of months is a lot of innovation and a lot of risk-taking. And it's been risky, obviously, but that's what I'm doing, though, is like I'm risking it all in order to move forward. And so I don't know how to find that balance in terms of game development necessarily, or programming or creative endeavors. But I think you got to carve out the time to develop yourself, right, in all the directions that you want to develop. I believe in you. King Aaron says, I would like to write for an anime. Awesome. Start writing scripts. Start sending them to animation studios. American ones or Japanese ones. I don't care. That's rad. Keep it up. Zoestar says, I'm so general about doing creative projects because I think different stories work best in different mediums. So ideally, I would want to be proficient with various types of media. With making various types of media. Very well. Have you done any? Where are you starting? Have you started yet? Where do you want to start? Start. And then continue. And then take the next step and the next and the next. Go master a form of media. Go try. I don't care whether it's drawing or speaking or writing or I don't care what it is. Ngak says, oh, I have plans, don't worry. Kikuri says, what is it you want to do to improve your channel that you haven't put into practice yet? Nothing. I'm putting them all into practice immediately. That's why some people feel like it's so impulsive and so like, oh, you're just doing all these things on a whim. I don't feel like I am. I think I'm taking the things that I want to do to improve, and I'm straight up just putting them into practice as I do them. This is a great question from EC. This is we're gonna stop for a moment and we're gonna spend some time on this question because I don't fully have an answer to it, but figuring out an answer to it is exactly right. is super important. Do you know any ways to shake up one's mindset constructively that don't involve acid or shrooms for those of us without access to such tools? I do know a few. So I do think the drugs are quite useful, but they're not for everyone, obviously. And I don't want to walk around going like, everybody should be taking psychedelics. They're the new wave of the future. I might believe it, but I'm not going to say it because it's a great way to get yourself shot or put in prison. And I'd rather not be shot or put in prison because I have fucking work to do. Fucking work to do. Do you know any ways to shake up one's mindset constructively that don't involve acid or shrooms for those of us without access to such tools? Yes. Change your environment is a huge one. The biggest one that I have is change your environment, which is to get out of the place where you physically are right now. And that can be as simple as taking a weekend and driving up into the mountains. Or it can be as unsimple as going on a legitimate planned out vacation. But I really mean go out and get in nature. And really spend some time in it. Turn off your phone for a day, right? Change your habits for a day, right? Break yourself out of your systems for 1 day, 2 days, some short period of time. Because the things that you are literally doing are your mindset. Your behaviors, your mind follows your behavior. Your mind follows your body. So change what you're doing in order to change yourself. Similarly, some of the physical altered state things that I've been really into. So exercise is one of those because you end up in a different state of being. And the cold showers are one of those because you are in a different state of being when you get into a cold fucking shower. God damn, that'll shake you up, man. Kikuri says, immediate way of shaking one's mindset is meeting new people who can help influence your worldview. I think so. I think that's true as well. And I also think that you can get it to some extent through media, through like powerful media. Serious media, you can get that stuff too. But hold on, I got a response from this this woman that I'm talking to, and it's very important because I'm trying to save this person. Actually, is the goal. I'm actually trying to save her. For example, meeting the old woman and her love stories. Yeah, that sort of thing. But that didn't really shake up my mindset because what she said and what she expressed really just fit into my mindset. It really just fit into my mindset. At the end of the day, she's going to have to save herself. I fully agree, Bissus, but I'll lead this horse to water. Thank you. Those were some powerful suggestions and much more doable than I expected. Yeah, get out of whatever process you're in is the biggest one. Break your cycle, break your loop. I've actually found the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 thing really helps for that. Is like there's something that you know that you need to do, and you're in the mindset of like, nah, just count backward from 5, and it'll engage your rational brain, and then go. Let me do a quick Google search and see what other people say. Ways to change your perspective. To radically change your perspective. All right, so let's see. Oh, actually, that is something that's very valuable. Is the future authoring idea, which is literally to sit down and write the story of your future. Just write it out. Get yourself out of the perspective of doing right now in the present and start thinking about where you're going to be in the future. Let me see if I can just find future authoring handout, something like that. Let's see. Okay, so start with some exercises to imagine your ideal future. Ask yourself questions like, what could you do better? What would you like to learn about? What habits would you like to improve? Then briefly answer them, and then write for a bit. as a daydream or a fantasy without editing or criticism, about what your ideal future could be. Who you in a few years could be if everything were right. Allow your internal motivation and emotion to find a voice. Concentrate on the future 3 to 5 years down the road, somewhere in there. Then, choose only one thing, so just as one idea, choose one thing that you could do better at, and choose one, the most important one that you can think about, and then for a couple of minutes, write about what it would be and how. For example, if the person who's writing this article says, one massive thing that I could do better is to be more assertive and confident with my actions and words. I'm fearful of receiving harsh criticism for speaking up and being assertive. I want conviction and courage to carry my truth outward, and if I'm wrong, I get to learn. And then the next thing is to write about what you would like to learn about in the next 6 months, 2 years, 5 years. What is it you'd like to understand better? For a lot of you, it might be art, it might be film, because you're sitting in an art criticism space. That's my space. Then, your habits. What kinds of habits would you like to improve? At school, at work, with friends and family, for your health? With regards to substance use, food. And then your social life in the future. Friends and associates are an important part of a meaningful, productive life. Consider your social network, the friends you might want to have, the connections you might want to have, and how those might be, and describe it. Think about your ideal leisure activities. Do you want to be spending your leisure life just watching TV, or do you want to be doing something different? Your family life, your career in the future, the qualities of people around you that you admire. Think about them. And then write a summary about your complete future, your ideal future. And then write a summary of your version of hell, of a future that would be if you let everything go wrong, if you did all of the worst habits and got all of your weaknesses going out of control. Something like that would be very useful for sure. For sure. Okay. Now, as far as changing your perspective on life, distancing yourself from negativity, so this means focusing on the positive. Okay, fair enough. Seeking silver linings and things. Okay, fair enough. I don't like this article very much. It's very hoity-toity, very blah, blah, blah. This I like. Seek out your purpose. Figure out what you are. Use the ikigai diagram to figure out how all those things can be combined to give you purpose. Right? What is this? What is this? Oh. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's really cool. Here, I'm going to drop this in the thing. Here, in the chat. Drop a thing. I don't like the site, but there. Click on that. Check out that picture. Actually, let me just pull it up. Fuck, I could just do that. Holy shit. Holy smackaroons, baby. Is this the right thing? Yeah, there you go. Look. Ikigai in the center. So what you love, what you are good at, what the world needs, and what can be paid for. What you can be paid for. You can find your profession, your passion, your mission, and your vocation. And in the center, where all of those things come together, is ikigai. Reason for being. Fuck me, they've already figured it out. It's always the goddamn Japanese. What the fuck? It's always the goddamn Japanese. They always have this shit figured out, man. They always have this stupid ass shit figured out already. Ikigai. Iku, reason for going, reason for being. Iku, iki. Gai. Yeah, no, that makes sense. The word breaks down perfectly. In Japan, there is no word for retire, because why would you retire from your purpose of being? If your purpose of being is to pull fish from the ocean and turn them into food for the children, then why would you stop doing that just because you got old? You wouldn't. If your purpose for being is to teach, then why would you stop just because it gets hard? You wouldn't. Fuck, that's good. That is a powerful fucking idea, man. So part of my problem is what you're good at, what you love, and what the world needs. I'm right on the money with those. But I'm not literally on the money because the what you can be paid for part is where I'm iffy. I'm figuring that part out. Shit, that's useful. How fucking cool is that? what the world needs is the most involved aspect of this chart. I agree. I will say though, I think that different people will have different difficulties with this chart. They'll have some of them figured out more than others, right? Because you might look at this chart and you might go, oh, I know what I'm good at 100%. You might just be like, I'm good at dancing. And you might be like, what do I love? I love expressing myself through movement. What does the world need? Well, does it need more dancers? It's a hard question to answer. And can you be paid for it? Maybe. But it might be hard. It might be really hard to get paid for dance, you know? I'm friends and getting better friends. This is the girl that I asked out. The first girl that I asked out, where I made the video that was like, I asked a girl out, and she's a dancer and singer. And she's got it. She's got exactly this right here in the center. Good at it, loves it, the world needs it, and she's showing it in a certain way, and I'll tell you how, and she can be paid for it. How? Well, other people like dancing too, and they need mentors and teachers, and so she teaches. And other people need inspiration, and so she sings songs of inspiration. So, she's figuring it out, you know? That's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. And so being friends with people who have their ikigai figured out, that's another thing that you can do to shake up your perspective, is to surround yourself with people who are go-getters, who just do it, who just do, right? That shit's spectacular. Let me grab something else, because I was speaking to EC specifically about shaking up your mindset. I want to talk to you about David Goggins. So this is weird. Let me put this away. Go away. Go away. I'm going to turn off the desktop audio so that I can do this on my own. So apologies, I won't be focused super well.
Honestly, is they have the of other people. If you're really happy with who you are, an hour to get to Rich Rolls. Let's say we were at 7 o'clock today in the morning. Takes an hour to get to Rich Rolls with no traffic. Okay, let's block in an hour 50.
So I'm going to grab this. It's not specifically a cut from the podcast. There's a very good podcast with Monsieur David Goggins on the Rich Roll podcast. So to give you some ideas about this and why I'm watching it specifically, Rich Roll is an ultra athlete, so an ultra runner, which is to say a long distance endurance runner. I've been partly watching him because he's a major proponent of veganism and plant-based dieting. And as I've said before, for experimental purposes, I don't necessarily believe in it, but for experimental purposes, I'm going to be trying a plant-based diet, and I'm moving toward it already, and I'm phasing meat out of my diet slowly. And when I run out of whey protein, I'll purchase pea protein, and when I run out of whole milk, I'll purchase plant-based milks, and I'll just cycle into more plant-based foods and see, because I don't know, and see whether it destroys me. It might tear my body apart. I might have to go back to eating more meat, and I'm totally fine with that. I got no compunctions about eating meat, and I've mentioned this before. But I've been watching this guy because he's a high-tier athlete that pushes his body to the limit, and he also runs a podcast where he talks to some of the most interesting people in the world and does so effectively, so his brain is still working. And so all of the things in my mind that are like, well, it's probably really hard to be eating mostly plants and have enough muscle mass. And I look at the dude and he's ripped to shit. And it's like, well, maybe I'm wrong. And it's like, well, definitely it's hard to be vegan and have enough like fats for your brain to be healthy. That's got to be hard. And then I look at the dude and he seems pretty intelligent. So I'm like, well, maybe I'm wrong. These things are pretty interesting to me. So anyway, I've been watching some of his podcasts. And the one that I'm talking about right now is when he has David fucking Goggins on. Goggins has a book out. He self-published it relatively recently. It's called Can't Hurt Me. Let's see if it's still at I don't even care. It's still probably top 5 on Amazon. I wouldn't expect otherwise. Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. Goggins tells a story. Not that long ago, he was a piece of shit, admittedly. Came from an abusive, destructive household in an abusive, destructive part of town. He's black. He grew up in a shit neighborhood. So all the lack of privilege all of it, right? All he would have to be is be gay, trans, and Jewish, and he'd have all the check marks, you know? But he was fat, he was overweight, obese, black, hated, almost illiterate, had a learning deficiency, a learning disability, and a speech impediment, was basically garbage as a person, and calls himself such. And he was killing cockroaches. He was an exterminator, killing cockroaches for about $1,000 a month. And something snapped in him, and he decided he wasn't going to do it anymore, and he was going to do something different. And he started running. I mean, he just started running. And as far as I can tell from the way that he's told the story, he started just doing these ultra marathons as though he were capable of them while still being near the 300 pounds and going, I'm going to get into BUDS, which is Navy SEAL training camp. I'm going to get into BUDS and I'm going to become a Navy SEAL and I'm going to go and I'm going to see the future that could be me. So something happened inside him that shook his mindset completely. And since then, as far as I can tell, what Goggins has been doing is seeking out the most painful thing in his entire life and then running toward it. I made a joke with my roommate the other day that Goggins is so out of his gourd. He's so out of his fucking brain case. Like he's currently making millions of dollars. He's making millions of dollars off of his book, and he's doing awesome. It's fully self-published and all that jazz. He's doing awesome. He's not doing nothing as the money comes in. He's currently fucking fire jumping. He's currently ziplining in and jumping out of helicopters to fight fires because he's out of his mind, right? So I made a joke with my roommate, which is, Goggins is just gonna die at one point, right? Like he's gonna seek out so much danger, and he's just gonna be like, "Yeah, you can't hurt me, motherfucker. You can't do shit to me. You can't do shit to me. I'm David fucking Goggins." And then the giant dinosaur is just gonna eat him, just like, ow, you know. And I made this joke. He's gonna walk up to like a wall of flowing lava and look at it and be like, "Yeah, you know what? Lava ain't shit. That shit ain't even hot." And he'll just full willpower, just walk straight into the lava, just like, rah, just burning straight through his face. Rah, just pure pain and no fucks given. I mean, really, the dude is just gonna walk into the sun at some point. He doesn't care. His pain sensation and his willingness to seek out friction and risk and difficulty is so over the moon that he's just obsessed with it. And what a huge distinction from that kind of a person to the kind of person who's stuck being exactly as they are in a job that they hate, as a person that they hate. You know, he took himself from illiterate to being one of the most articulate and well-spoken people. And you listen to him talk, you listen to him speak, and he is not just articulate, he's emphatic, and he means what he says. And you can tell that it's like, you look him in the eye through the camera, and you see straight back behind his eyes, every part of him is in line, and he's got it, man. He's got it. It's fucking amazing. My cousin was an adrenaline junkie, died on his first solo skydive, went straight into the ground when both chutes tangled, left behind his 3 children. That's horrifying. That's horrifying. That's the kind of shit that happens. You know what else kind of happens? Which is crazy. It's sort of like the walking into the wall of fire thing. Skydivers, the ones who die, plenty die from malfunctions and stuff. But really experienced skydivers fairly frequently die because they're so comfortable that they forget to pull the chute. It happens commonly. They'll be filming people who are on their first time jumps, and they'll be so focused on and so comfortable in the environment, so comfortable falling, that they just forget to pull the chute. And the same thing goes for deep sea free divers. They get themselves so inured to carbon dioxide poisoning, so like they're so accustomed to the feeling of being out of breath and dying basically, that when they go swimming, free diving deep, they are swimming and they're swimming and they're swimming, and there's no moment for them, as far as I've heard from Huberman, there's no moment for them where they go, oh shit, I'm out of air. They're just going and they feel totally confident, totally normal, and then the lights go black and they're dead. Because they're too comfortable in pain. Crazy. But that's the sort of thing. You want to get 1% away from that. You want to get as close as you can get to that without actually killing yourself. You know what I mean? Because if you can do that, then you can overcome any dragon. The city goes, oh no, oh gosh, there are dragons coming and they're going to kill us all, and oh gosh. And you're like, fuck that shit, I'm gonna put my armor on. Let's go, baby. Let's go, dragon. And you ride out and you're just one fucking idiot riding on a horse. And then, rah, dragons. And you go and you kill the fucking dragon or get eaten by it. but you go and you kill dragons, you know? And then the whole city goes, whoa, this guy, killer of dragons, the Dragon Slayer, amen. Fucking rad. Oh, let's just say you should listen to Kingslayer by Bring Me the Horizon and Baby Metal. I won't play this. I'll just grab it. Kingslayer, 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 Kingslayer. No, it's on Post-Human Survival Horror Apocalypse. Kingslayer, destroying castles in the sky. Kingslayer. Anybody who wants a cool song to get pumped, listen to this right now. Bow, bow, bow. Actually, I've got audio off, so you won't be able to hear this. Oh, no, I don't have audio off. I have audio on. Okay, I'll turn audio off so that you won't be able to hear it, so that I don't have to deal with editing it. And I'm going to listen to Kingslayer right now. I have to log into Spotify. What the fuck is that? Alright, let me log in. Shit. Fuck. Actually, here's what I'll do. While you guys... Bring Me the Horizon feels like I'm 14 again? Good! You should feel like you're 14 again. I fucking love Bring Me the Horizon. And then with Baby Metal is something spectacular. Anyway, the caffeine is flowing through me, so I have to go take a poop. And so I'm going to go listen to that song while I do so. See y'all in probably 3 minutes flat, because I've upped my fiber intake and my shits are amazing. You didn't need to know that, but you kind of did. Because if any of you... I'll be real with you. Let me be real for a second. As I'm... let me be real with you for a second. If your bowels are in distress, there are ways to fix it, and we can talk about it. My roommate was in severe, continuous bowel distress. He went to multiple doctors and they couldn't figure out what was going on. And in the last fucking month, I fixed him. So I'll come back and talk to you about it if anybody's interested. If anybody's interested in what I'm talking about, let me know and I'll be right back. Headphones for music purposes, and be right back. Oh, I'm still listening to the song. No, I got stuck. Where's God? Absent as usual. Rip. One sec, lads. One sec. I just gotta do a thing. Okay. Okay. So, we're back. Let's go. Let me go. Going up. All right. I feel like I'm 14 again. Bowel movements are a super important indicator. Yes, a total overall indicator of general health. Extraordinarily fascinating. God is absent as usual. Indeed. Sucks. Long poop. Dude, it was such a fast poop. It was so fast. Really, what happened was I got distracted by the woman that I'm talking to asking me a rather poignant question. Which is very, very shitty because she literally, what she asked was, I'm really fucked at the moment. Can you help me and get me a pizza? Which is a really different, it's a really big leap from like, can you pay me hundreds of dollars to come and sleep with you, to, I actually just really need some food right now. Oh shit. So that immediately evokes for me the feeling of being starving, a place where I've been. And so I mentioned as much. I mentioned that I remember that when I was fully starving, that I genuinely remember considering whether I could break into my neighbor's house to steal cans of food. And I realized in that moment that my body is more powerful than I am. That I'm actually not that in control of myself. And that's very interesting. And her response was, I've never thought of stealing from people. I'd rather starve to death. And I thought that the same was true about me. I thought exactly the same thing. I thought that my principles were strong or something. I thought that I was well put together and that I had principles, you know? And that's what's very funny is that you don't. You don't actually. If your principles fall apart when you're actually starving, and you can say, well, when I'm starving, I would be totally fine. I'd be totally rational and reasonable, and I would never steal from anyone. It's like, no, really? Have you been there yet? Have you been there yet? Because your body is stronger than you are, unless you're really trained. It's not just exceptional, it's trained. Trained. Really, really, truly. And that means getting close to it. That means getting into that state of pressure, of hyper pressure, of being crushed. Really means getting into that. I feel very bad for this person. All right, sorry for ignoring you, Chatos. Pizza is my favorite food, dude. I agree. Pizza's a great food. It's gotta be a good pizza, you know. Um, Pooping's important. Fiber has been really important to it, but everybody kind of knows that already. Biotics, living things, microorganisms. You need them. You need them. Kimchi, kombucha, sauerkraut, fermented foods, miso. You need those living things inside your gut. They'll make your life better. It's really interesting. The bacteria in your gut and the microorganisms in your gut directly signal your brain to with like chemicals that make your brain produce certain neurochemicals, including and especially the ones that lead to happiness. It's fucking crazy, and contentedness. It's fucking crazy. It's actually a synchronized synchronized system with the microorganisms that live inside of you. It's nuts. It's nuts. It's awesome. So fiber is good. Microorganisms are better. Avoiding drinking alcohol because it kills those microorganisms seems to be important, and it's something that I have to do. And I have to balance that with my need for postbiotics. Just stopping by to say hi, watching Kanye on InfoWars Lamau. Holy shit. That sounds fascinating. That sounds like a fucking time right there. Macaroni mascarpone. What the fuck, man? And what else? Oh, the fucking apple cider vinegar. Yeah, and Fuentes. Weird time. What the fuck? Weird timeline. Apple cider vinegar. Little bit of that. It's really engaged my gut in an interesting way. And something about the acid is like, it does something important. Okay. I'm playing Minecraft right now. Good for you. Good for you. Very good. Minecraft is great. All right, I'm gonna go back through the money is no object thing, the poll. I'm gonna go through that again, and then we'll move toward ending. Okay. More focus on creative endeavors. Mostly the things that are at the top I've already gone through. Doing things that interest me, says Yidna. Good. Leave my country with family. That's a good one, Parnik. There's a pretty good old story about that one, eh? Actually, there are two. There are two really good old stories about that one. You know what those two great stories are? I'll tell you, Parnik. Noah and the Ark. There's a flood coming. Noah's like, shit, there's a flood coming. Better build a boat. He builds a boat. He gets all his family on, and they survive the flood, and nobody else does. That's a pretty good story. The second one is Exodus. There's a shitty situation. The world is corrupt. Your people, your family, are being destroyed, being enslaved. You go, hey, friends, we're getting the fuck out of here. Fuck this place. Fuck the Pharaoh. Fuck all these Egyptian bitches. We're leaving. And you know what happens to them? They don't find paradise. They end up wandering in the desert for like 40 fucking years, and it's hell, and it's awful. They got no idea where they're going, and eventually they find their way. Those are some good stories. You should read those stories. They might help you as you attempt to aim yourself toward that leaving of your country with your family. So good. Teaching, says Biss. Good. That's a good answer, Biss. Good. Go to college for a job in a psychology field, probably some form of therapist. Awesome. Start now. You don't need the college to get there. You actually don't. The idea that you need college in order to get educated? Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Start educating yourself so that when you walk in that door, you're as educated as the person trying to teach you, and then evaluate whether what they're saying is true. Do your own damn research and do it now. Start now. There's nothing stopping you. The internet exists. There are hundreds of high-quality, top-tier lectures. Let me find you one that's not politically affiliated, all right? I'm just going to go to YouTube and I'm going to find you Psychology 101 lecture. Oh, this is from Yale. Excellent. Excellent. This is Psychology 101 from Yale. You can take it. It's fucking free. Full lecture series for free. Check this shit out. Check this fucking shit out, huh? This is the world we live in, all right? You want to go to college? How about Yale? Is Yale good enough for you? Yeah, most of the Ivy Leagues have entire course lectures free on YouTube. Exactly. Is Yale good enough for you? I hope Yale is good enough for you, because Yale would be good enough for me. Look at this shit. This is 19-hour-long fucking lectures from Yale. 1.5 million views, no comments. Some things that were projected on the classroom screen aren't shown. Yeah. Which is what this is. Yeah, they will. MIT has a bunch. Good joke. All right, so I'll stop there. You should go and watch this on your own. Stanford has computer science course for free, and many others. Harvard put most of its entire programming courses online for free. Absolutely. MIT has a bunch. I went and found, because I went from my friend. He's like, man, I really need to go back to college because he wants to get a degree in kinesiology so that he can head toward being a physical therapist of some degree. Frankly, what he likes is he likes chiropractics. He likes helping people. And when our roommates or when our friends come over for Friday night hangouts, one of the things that happens is he ends up spending like 45 minutes just cracking people's backs. Just people come up to him and they're like, hey man, I really need your help. I've been having this issue with my thing. And he's like, cool, I got you. Lay down, I'll figure your shit out and pop him into place. He does it for free, right? And he was like, man, I really wish that I had more time and more money so that I could go to college and I could get the degree that I need in order to get the thing. I was like, why do you need a degree? The fuck do you need that for? What if you just knew more? What if you just knew more? And he's like, yeah, but then I wouldn't have a degree. And I was like, okay, so? You just want to help people, right? And he's like, yeah, okay. So you just want more tools to be able to help people, right? And he's like, yeah. So you just would love to know more about the way that the body works because that would help you? Help people? He's like, yeah. Okay, well then here's a free course that's online about all of kinesiology from one of the best professors in the entire world, from one of the best institutions of higher learning in the entire world. A place that, to be clear, you have a snowball's chance in hell of ever getting into. Like, my friend, he's not an idiot, right? But if you looked at his transcript, you'd be like, this guy's an idiot. You'd throw him away. You'd never let him into Yale or MIT or Harvard. You'd never, right? But he can go and he can learn from the best. From the best. That's the world we live in. You know, your whatever excuse you have for not being educated is bullshit. It's bullshit. All you need to do is go find some podcasters who are legit and find some fucking online for free full university lectures and just listen to them. Listen to them while you clean your room. There's an idea. Double tap on your own existence, right? You know, double down on your own, on the risk, on the gamble that you might be worth something. So here's the way that gamble works. It works like this. You say, hey, I might actually be worth something in this world. I might be valuable and valid. It's all there for free and no one cares. See, that's bullshit, Bissus. Look at this. That's bullshit. No one cares? Bullshit. Look. How many views does this video have? You can't see it because of the way that it's structured. How many views does this video have? 1.5 million. People care, man. People don't not care. 880,000. So you get some fall off, right? Because the introduction turns to the next. But that's true of literal physical courses that you go to. Well, how much do Andrew Huberman's podcasts happen when it comes to important things, right? These full lectures by a Stanford professor who's doing this. Oh, 2.3 million? Yeah, people don't care about this shit. Bull. People care a lot. Same thing goes for like Matthew Colville. Free online information about how to run D&D. 100,000 views, easy. People care, man. People fucking care. It's just not enough of them know. Not enough people know. It's like as soon as I express this, look at the chat. Look at the people in the chat. They're like, oh shit, this stuff exists. People don't care about educating themselves. The people who do watch. Yeah, that's the great filter, man. That's the filter. Only the ones who are willing to help themselves. Only the ones who are willing to help themselves. Only the ones who want to save themselves will save themselves. You're 100% right and 100% wrong, Bissus. It's not that they don't care. It's that they don't know. And if it is that they don't care, then fuck them. Fuck them. If anybody looks at that and goes, yeah, I don't really give a shit that there is infinite free education on the internet. I'm going to go jerk off to some porn. It's like, fuck off. Oh, Brandon Sanderson has his full BYU writing class online for free. I've seen a good portion of it. It's spectacular. It's fantastic. It gives you a window into the mind of one of the great authors of our generation. Like, we toss that aside. We don't even care. So many people don't, at least. But also, so many people don't know. So many people do not know, and that's crazy. It's crazy. For free. Yeah, exactly. Giving away his whole framework for free. And people love it. And it's exactly the way that it should be. It's planting trees that you won't see the shade of. Online classes on pornology should be taught at Yale too. I totally think so. What do you have planned for the rest of the day? I'm gonna do some Gundam. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna turn my attention to Gundam. I'm gonna record something. Again, I said that I really want to be consistent this week. I want to get all the things done. I want to check all the boxes. So that, basically, so that the people who are yelling around in my Discord about, like, oh, Tiabu's not consistent, can fuck the fuck off. Like, get out my face, man. So, yeah. Humans interest me a lot. Mythology, philosophy, psychology, literature, and what makes humans tick. I also enjoy helping people. Played my first D&D match 2 days ago. It was scary at first, but fun. I'm glad. I'm utterly glad. I think D&D is great. It's a great way to experiment and have fun. How does the Gundam work? Will you be moving on to other Gundam series after you finish this one, or move on to something else? I don't know. I've only watched Wing, so if that ever gets done, I'll be sure to watch it for the nostalgia. I don't know if it will. I don't know. I don't know. Any tips on cardio training? No, because I don't do a lot of cardio training. Jump rope. That's the one thing that I know, is jump rope. TR1 Sosi, jumping rope is really good. Other than that, I don't know. I don't know enough to know. Because I'm super focused on strength training. On getting specifically better at moving mass. It's just where I focus, and I don't really like cardio. Anyone in chat watched the Witch from Mercury prologue? If so, is it worth the watch? It's still sat waiting for me to free up time. I keep, so I'll just say from my perspective, I keep hearing from people that Witch from Mercury has been really good, so that's rad. Didn't you say you like dance? That's good cardio. I was always able to I always find sport/fun activity is the best way to do cardio because I get very bored running. My area is not super walkable. Yeah, I fucking hate running. I actually really don't like it, and I don't think it's very good for your knees. I know that there are ways to do it effectively, but I really don't like running. I don't enjoy it. I know that I'm built for it, and sometimes I enjoy sprints, and I enjoy the process of running okay, but I don't like running. I like biking a lot. I started using the rowing machine, the Concept 2 rower that's in my gym, and I quite like that too. That's nice too. But I don't like running. I do like walking. Walking around can be really fun. Hiking is really fun, just going to a natural space. And hiking can be very helpful because it combines that get into nature sort of vibe about like changing up your environment, and that's pretty good. But sport or fun activity, you're probably exactly right. And it's also, you can do double duty and make your time go way further, right? So if you spend an hour every day running or whatnot, you spent that hour running and you got better at running. But if you spent that hour playing, like Ultimate Frisbee with a group of people that you met online to meet up in a group, and or touch football or some dumb sport, or you find a pickleball court, because pickleball is exploding, by the way. Go play pickleball. It's like ping pong tennis. It's like in between. I think a part of it is our bodies were designed to run out on savanna, and our feet miss out on that signaling. Definitely agree with hiking, walking. I love those activities. I would agree with that. I think that if you want to run barefoot on grass, that's a great move. That'll do you, man. That'll be very good. However, I still have issues with the knee strain. I'd like my knees to work forever, and so and not be in pain, because I meet a lot of older folks who have torn up hips or knees, and they're miserable. And so I realized about a week ago, because I went to the gym and I saw myself in the mirror, finally, like in full-length mirrors in the gym, because I haven't looked at myself in a full-length mirror. I saw myself in the full-length mirror and I was like, damn, my legs look awesome. My calves are tiny. Shit. Fuck, my calves are tiny. No. So I've been building out my calves. I've been building the whole thing, and I'm being really careful to build the whole thing, front and back, tibialis and all the larger muscles on the back. I forget, well, no, those zygomatics are here. Regardless, gastrocnemicus. To build them it all out so that my whole knee is structured and surrounded by muscle, so that it all holds together really effectively. That's what the goal is there. And so I'm moving toward that. And part of that has been jump roping, or jumping rope, doing that. And part of it has been tibialis raises, which are really good too. And just building out my ankle anatomy and my knee anatomy and my overall strength and stuff. And that's been spectacular. It's been really good. Anyway, exercise is fantastic. When I feel like I'm not doing anything, I just go outside and walk until I feel ready to work again. I was walking for 5 hours straight a couple of days ago. That sounds awesome. That sounds great. That sounds like a great move, because, if you're just sitting around just going, well, I guess I'm not doing anything, then you're just not doing anything. You might as well be doing something. And I'll bet that in most cases, as soon as you start walking and you're moving a little bit and the blood is flowing a little bit, you're like, oh, wait, actually, there's this thing that I need to do. And you start moving in that direction and start doing it. I'll bet that happens to you relatively frequently. Some days it'll be like 5 hours of walking, but I'll bet some days it'll be like 5 minutes of walking. And then it'll be like, oh, right, actually, I should be studying this, or actually, I should be working on that, or actually, I should be reading this, or actually, I should be writing that. It probably fluctuates in that sort of a way, I would guess. Never skip leg day? No, just make leg day every day. Your legs are most of your musculature, are like so much of your body. Just use them a lot. Use them all the time. I go to the gym 3 times a week. It's not that often. And I go for like an hour. And I squat every time I go. Why? Because it's the most exercising exercise that I can do. And it's the most coherent and concise in terms of the time spent for value gained, is to put the barbell as high on my back as possible, and then bring it as low as possible, and then bring it as high as possible. It's like it uses the whole body. And that's why you do it. Should walk/run to the gym? Ugh. It's a little too far for that. It's much easier to go in a vehicle, especially when it's cold. The mind prefers working over boredom, so doing absolutely nothing sometimes makes you go back to working. I'd agree with that too. It's one of the reasons why a meditation practice can be really valuable. If you can sit there and, well, first off, calm yourself into doing nothing, that gets you better at dealing with the limbic friction of, I need to be doing something, and going to, no, I don't, which is very useful, for example, if you're very nervous and you need to sleep. But it also lets you do the other side, which is, I'm very still, I'm very calm, I'm very, very not moving, and I need some movement. I need to overcome my inertia in order to go. And figuring out how to do both, being capable of doing both and controlling both, taking yourself from the state of, no, I just want to lay in bed, fuck this, and getting up and be like, no, we're getting up. And doing that forebrain control, that autonomic control of your, or that conscious control of your autonomic systems, we might say, is really valuable. And then the flip side, which is you're really agitated and you'd like to be asleep, or you'd like to be calm, or you'd like to be, you're in a situation where being agitated isn't going to help you, and you need to chill out. The ability to consciously control your anxiety and consciously control yourself, also really useful. And what has been said, and I believe, is that it's almost impossible to control the mind with the mind. And so what you need to do is to control the mind with the body, because your mood follows action. What you do actually changes your behavior, changes your mental state. We all know this. When you get anxious, so you probably have a toolkit that's like meditation, breathing techniques, exercise, all these various things that can help you when you're really anxious. But what happens when you get really anxious? You can't remember that all those things exist because your field of vision narrows and your field of thought narrows. You can't even remember it. You can't remember it. So what do? Well, you need to figure out a way to break yourself out of that mental cycle where your blinders are on, and the way to do it is through your body. Literally, you can smack yourself in the face and it'll help, but I don't recommend that. I recommend drop to the floor and do some push-ups, jump up and down, right? Or something that I used to do and still do very frequently, it's very much like a form of meditation, is I flex every chunk of musculature in my body in turn. I start with my toes and my hands, and I flex them really hard, and I let them go. And then my calves, and I let them go. And then my legs, and I let them go. And then my whole hip anatomy, and then the pelvic floor, the part that you use to squeeze out a poop really hard, and then the abs, and then the lower back, and the upper back, and the chest, and then the shoulders, and then the neck, and the whole face. And then you're pretty fucking awake. And most importantly, you become really grounded when you do this, because suddenly you remember that you're a body in space. You're a person, and you're whole, and the thing that's freaking you out is just in your mind. My therapist gave me that flexing/breathing technique, lol. That's what's so interesting. I invented it. It's convergent evolution, right? A bunch of therapists know that this works, and they absolutely know that it works. And I, having never heard any of them say anything about it, came up with it years ago while I was on fucking mushrooms, because I was tripping balls and I wasn't okay. I was not okay in the moment. I was having a really, really bad experience. Mostly because I tried to stay inside and found myself very trapped, very stuck. And so eventually I made my way outside, and I was still like hyperventilating, still freaking out, still really having a bad time. And it was sinking myself into my body. And literally SYNC, sinking with my body. That demonstrated to me I am a whole entity, and I'm physically here, and I'm physically grounded in this space, and I can look up at the sky, and I can look around me, and I'm here. It's rad. It's amazing. It works really well. When you get trapped in your mind, escape through your body. It's actually, so I remember I mentioned a few weeks ago that I took two of my good friends and I gave them LSD and I guided them through the trip. Right here, this is a page that I made for them. Doors of perception, water, breathe, yoga, freedom, question, observe, listen. This is the trip menu. So this is what I made, was like, these are all the things that you could do. Movies, games, food, wood floors, clean stuff, eat fruit, draw. And then this was something that I wrote on it. If you are trapped in your mind, escape through your body. Free yourself. If you are trapped in your mind, escape through your body. And it's exactly right. And I wrote this before I heard Huberman talk about it. Again, like, this is something that I've used for years, and I came up with it on my own. And it's the same idea that a bunch of really well-grounded therapists who've come at it from a scientific perspective also use as a tool for their thing. It's like, what a great confirmation that something that I came up with is relevant and useful. We're all on Spaceship Earth together. Forget who you are. Recognize who you could be. Responsibility. Love. You are alive. Pain gets easier as you push into it. Do the work. Sacrifice. Doors of perception. The best spot. Well, that's actually a specific spot that I wanted people to go to. Do a quick workout. Talk to the cats. Look at the plants. Meditate. Get some sunlight. Be outside. Saved me so many times, especially as, the most useful technique I've ever learned is how to prevent vomiting. You take your thumb and you squeeze it in the palm of your hand, and it suppresses your gag reflex. You mean right here? This muscle? That one? The pressure point? I assume that that's what you mean, Kikori. I absolutely agree. You can use that for any number of things. Not just for vomiting. In a large part, what you're doing is you're taking your mental state off of whatever you're focused on and focusing it on pain. Focusing it on a specific stimulation somewhere else. Talking to my cats and plants always helps. Good stuff. I mean, I'm serious. You know, it's a joke, but I'm serious about that joke. Gotta talk to cats. Cats are great. Touch cats. Hug cats, touch grass, eat ass. Wait, what? Wait, what? I'm not necessarily a proponent of eating ass. You gotta be very safe about that. But it does rhyme perfectly with touch grass. So what am I gonna do? It's very fun and funny. Fold your thumb into the center and squeeze with fingers like that? Like this? Oh, yeah, that works. Fully removes gag reflex, too. I tested it once by doing it, then trying to touch the back of my throat with a finger. Really? Is that so? There are a few people I need to teach that trick to. You know, for purely selfish reasons. Only to help myself. I might teach some people to suppress their gag reflex with their thumb. But damn, it's a lifesaver for one with a phobia. Awesome. I'm very glad for you. Okay, we're gonna head toward wrapping up here. I think this has been a really useful little brew. I wanted to drop back and I wanted to say Blood Splash, who just said, I just started working out again because of your daily brews. Last time I worked out was around 4 years ago. Awesome. Keep it up and don't think of it as something outside of you. It's you now. It's you now, and it's not me making you do it. It's you now. You know what you want to be. You know who you want to be. You know how you want to be in the world. Do it. Act it out. Embody it. Become it. Become it. Love it. Love you. All right, all you weird fuckers. I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna turn my attention toward some Gundam. Glad I caught the tail end of the stream. Awesome. I hope everyone has a great start to the month too. I'll probably make a video soon. Regarding. I'll probably make a video soon regarding money and where my finances went as the month ticked over, because I definitely lost some patrons, and I want to talk about it, and I want to be really open about what I lost and why I think I lost it, and open the floor to people being like, well, no, I actually unsubscribed to you because of these reasons. It's like, okay, that's reasonable. I just want to talk through it. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye, bye. Have a great day. Do something productive. Clean your desk. It's your cockpit. It's your pilot's chair. And into the future we go. Peace. And I mean it.